Hey everyone, it's Tom here and thanks for joining me on today's video. Yesterday we covered listing the directory in here, and I didn't realize at the time I made a bit of an error. This entry here was SDIR. It should have been SDIR2. So if you want to make that change, you'll need to make that change to your file today. So also the other thing I noticed that this should say list box 2 enabled, not checkbox, because what we want is when the script to play, this dollar box comes up, this part of the dollar box comes up gray. So instead of checkbox, it should just be list box. So for today, we're going to go through and look at clicking on this user script button. So there's a couple of ways of doing that. You can start it from up here in the coding window, or you can just select the button itself, right click and say view code, and then the VBA application will start it off for you. So what we're doing today is just enabling this, and then when it does get enabled, it lists a script file that you can select from within the directory that you're working in. So we're basically going to be doing a if and end if. So I want to say if checkbox 4 value. So when you type in VBA, it'll come up with other options. So we want to just look at the value of it. If it's true, then make the list box, so list box 2, to clear it. So if there was any values in there before, we can clear it out. We want to say list box 2 enabled equals true, so we want to enable it, and the list box 2 dot back color to be white, so it can be this same color here. Okay, and then while that's happening, we want to set up a new string, and I'll just make that S capital F, and then S file is a directory listing of C drive batching / star.scr. Okay, so it's just going to list inside the directory of anything that's filtered out as a script. And then we have a do while command. And then list box 2, add item, S file. And then S file equals dir, and then loop. So essentially this part of it here is filtering out the script, the .scr files, and then while it can find .scr files, add them to this list box. Okay, and then we're going to close that out a little bit, and then what we're going to do is do another if command. So if checkbox 4 of value equals false, so if it's then we can say list box 2 dot clear, so clear out the box, list box 2 dot enabled equals true, still enabled, but then list box 2 dot color, back color equals gray. Okay, so let's run with this. So you can see this is gray. It might be a bit hard to see on the recording, but if I need to do an end if. Let's start that again. So if I tick that box on, then you can see this list box changes to white or gray depending on what's selected. Now also just to show the point, is if I go to my batching, and if I create a new, I'll do a new text file, and I'll call it tom.scr, get rid of the text. So now if I run this, you can see it places the tom.scr file. And just to show that proof again, if I copy that a few times down, so we've got 4 script files, press play, turn the scripts on, then you can see all of those script files populate. So that way we can get an idea on which script file we want to run on this source drawings folder. Okay. And then lastly for today is I'm going to do the code for the cancel button. So same thing, right click on the cancel button, view code, and that is really just unload me, which means it's unloading itself, which is just a cancel. Okay, so I think for today that'll be enough, and what we're going to do tomorrow, there's some functions here with these clicks inside these purge, zoom, and detach, which will all be dependent on the process button being clicked. So we'll do that tomorrow. That's the last day of our coding week, and then we can do a proof of concept on a handful of drawings that I've got. I'll zoom out a little bit. I'll put some elements in there that I can purge, and then we can come in there and make sure that it all works. So thanks for watching. Thumbs up if you liked it, thumbs down if you didn't. Please subscribe to the channel and click on the bell icon to get notified of my daily videos. Thanks for watching.